Welcome to Spoop Squad, the podcast that watches horror films that go flop in the night. I'm Jared,
I'm Hannah.
and this week Nathan got spooped.
Got spooked.
He is not on this episode. Nathan is actually currently traveling for work, so unfortunately we're going to miss him on this episode. Or will we? I guess we'll find out, won't we?
A little.
A little. All right, well, this week we have a surprise to, I guess, us and Nathan in general. We watched Bad Ben from 2016. This movie is a 5.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and we watched it on Amazon Prime.
This brings me so much joy.
Like, Nathan has been trying to get you specifically to watch this movie for I don't know how long now.
3.5 years?
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
Yep.
And I do remember that you did try to watch this movie once before, and what happened?
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep. It's just, I think it was just one of those days where it was like kind of late already, and you were already a little bit drunk and probably were just
Very
ready to go to sleep.
Tired and
Yeah.
over Nathan's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. All right, Hannah, why don't you give us a synopsis on this movie?
Okay, it's more of a storyline, but sure. Okay. Tom Riley thought he was getting the deal of a lifetime when he bought a house below market value at a sheriff's sale. He invested every penny he had with the plan of flipping the home for a profit. Once he owned it, however, he noticed strange happenings, all of which were captured on 21 surveillance cameras.
And cell phone. Don't forget the cell phone.
Yes, and 22, located throughout the home, inside and out. At first, he thought people were breaking in, but he soon realized he was dealing with something paranormal.
That is the movie.
That's the whole movie.
Like, that's the whole movie. That's not a synopsis. That just tells you everything in a nutshell.
Yeah. I mean, we could just end the episode right here.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, that's it.
Get spooked.
But let's get into one good thing. Okay, so together, I think we know what Nathan's one good thing would be.
For sure.
Because this is something, because Nathan and I have watched this movie multiple times.
Yes.
And this is one of our favorite things in general. It's whenever the door gets shut behind him while he's on the porch. He's on the phone talking to somebody. His back is to the door. It closes. He goes to open the door and it's locked. And his line that he gives is probably the best thing in the whole movie. And he just goes, "Fuck my life." We lose it every time.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard both of you say that and just die.
There are a lot of things that Nathan and I quote about this movie.
It's true.
The "fuck my life," "God damn it," Tom Riley.
He doesn't even say that.
He doesn't, and I don't remember where it came from, but I know that it was from the first time Nathan and I watched this movie, and it has stuck.
Yes.
So there are definitely a lot of things that Nathan and I will bring up
Yes.
about this movie, and we love it. Hannah, what's your one good thing?
My one good thing is after Tom Riley finds the grave in the backyard or he thinks it's a grave. He doesn't really know what it is and just disrupts everything, smells something off on the attic, goes up and finds what he calls an altar when it was really just like
a collection of things.
Yes. And there's this pentagram made of twigs and it's held together with electrical tape. Because just watching it, I looked at you and I was like, "Is that electrical tape?" And you're like, "Yes." Just disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, and this is a conversation that we had where we were like, he could have found something else.
I mean, he could have gone to a hardware store and found twine for like $2,
Yeah.
and that would have made it look more like Blair Witchy.
Mm-hmm. A
But-
hot glue gun.
Yep,
would have
electrical
done
tape
fine. Yeah. Electrical tape it's black tape, I guess.
and a broken Jesus.
The broken Jesus, for
And
sure.
a couple of super clean wannabe voodoo dolls in an urn.
Yeah, there's 3 voodoo dolls in this urn that you automatically think is just going to be filled with ashes, and it's not.
Okay, so real quick, the fourth little black thing that he pulls out,
Mhm.
is that supposed to be a hex bag?
I don't know what that's supposed to be. Like,
Okay.
there's no real detail in what he shows.
Yeah.
You just see this little black object, and I'm not sure what it is.
It's
It's a
Bad
ball of
Ben.
electrical tape.
Yeah. I'll go with it.
All right, my one good thing is there's a Bible that Tom finds at the beginning of the movie. He throws it away in the trash can. It breaks apart, and for some reason, he collects it back from the trash can, and it's all put together. But whenever he gets it back into the house, he opens it up, and he finds this picture that was drawn by a child, and it has 3 people and this little demon at the bottom, and they're all labeled. One is labeled Mom, one is labeled Dad, one is labeled Good Ben and Bad Ben. But my favorite thing about this thing is that Good Ben looks like a fucking turtle. It is Turtle Ben. It is one of the best things.
Turtle Ben. Because as soon as you said that, we both lost it because he's just a circle with sticks.
Yeah. No, it's not even sticks. It's like round hands and round feet and a round head. It looks like a turtle. And the funniest thing about it, whenever you heard Turtle Ben, you were like, I like turtles.
I like turtles. It's just so good.
This movie has so many. It's like legitimately hard to pick some of the favorite parts of this movie,
Yes.
but these are only just a few.
I mean, it was like we had to struggle to find one thing to pick.
Oh, we were labeling off like one right after the other.
Yes.
There are definitely several that are very close to these favorite moments for sure.
This movie. It's something.
It's something for sure. And okay, so let's go ahead and get into the kill breakdown. We don't really have any real deaths. Like, we have a supposed death of Tom Riley at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He is on the ground in the basement. This is whenever he finally gets into the basement. He's had enough. He's going to fight whatever presence is down there.
With a hatchet.
And he gets knocked out or killed in some way. And he is being drug across the floor by a chain with a hatchet like on his chest. He's bloodied and not moving. Can't really tell if he's breathing or not. So we don't know if he's dead or not.
Yeah.
I will say that there are definitely more than one Bad Ben movie. And It is amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think I like to think in my head that he was thinking, oh, this is going to be the only movie I make. I'll just die at the end. Why not? And then he was like, oh, no, this was so much fun and I made money on it. Let's do another one.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometime between watching the first one and some of the others, I feel like we have been told by somebody or something that like all of his movies takes place in a multiverse type thing, but I can't confirm or deny that. I really don't know, but it's fun to think about.
Yeah.
There is definitely a movie called Bad Ben Mandela Effect.
Yes.
So that kind of hints towards it being that way.
There's also Bad Ben with Wish Bruce Willis.
Yeah, there is that. I think that's what, Bad Ben 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many of these Bad Ben movies. I think there's 9 total movies.
Yeah.
Either there's 9 or there's about to be another one coming out. I think he has another one coming out.
This dude has so much time on his hands.
Yes. One of the things we did not mention is all of his movies are made on like a $300 budget.
Yeah.
But he's made like $300,000 from these movies.
I want that.
Yeah, right?
I want that.
I mean, just all from Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Good for you, Tom Riley.
Yeah. His legitimate name is Nigel Bach.
Yeah.
So his name isn't really Tom Riley. But
I know, but I like calling him that. It's fun.
But it's Tom Riley. All right, let's get into some ridiculous moments because there are several.
Okay. Let me just start off with this because you were talking about how he may have died in the basement. We don't know.
We don't know.
But when he was being dragged across the floor and the hatchet is just laying on his chest, it's not in his chest.
No, it's just on his
chest. It's just on.
Yeah.
And he's all bloody and everything. And it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Why?
That's a very good question.
I mean, I loved it. It didn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I don't know. Maybe that's his way of saying, "Oh, I'm not dead."
Could be.
Maybe he's playing dead.
He got beat up by a ghost again.
He did.
Again.
Let's talk about the other time because the other time is hilarious. So this is right after he gets out of the attic and he goes downstairs.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, he goes downstairs. Like he was in the attic telling this entity that he's not afraid of it.
Because he's a Christian.
Yeah, which we'll get into that in a minute. He goes to sleep downstairs after getting out of the attic and telling this entity that he's not afraid of it. And it just opens the door. He sits up out of bed and is like, "Ben, is that you?" And you see this little orb float in and beats the ever-living shit out of him. And it is hilarious because he's just flopping around in bed.
But it like flips him over and chokes him out.
It does. And we get this like extra scene in the bathroom where he's just completely bloodied.
After he's on the floor crying.
Yeah.
So good.
But he's not afraid of it.
No. Honestly, and I mentioned this, I really, really was hoping because the bathroom door opened behind him when he was bent over the sink. And I was like, is Ben going to concho him?
I really wanted him to.
Oh my God. Nigel, if you're listening to this, please make that a scene in your next movie. Make Ben concho somebody.
Nigel, if you're listening to this, please come onto the show.
Yes.
We would love to have you.
Be so good.
It really would. Like, I want to get some insight on these movies and where his mind was at, like, whenever he first originally thought about making the first Bad Ben.
Same.
And if he legitimately was like, oh, this is just going to be like a one-time thing, or if he legitimately thought, oh, no, I'm going to make a lot of these.
Also, Nigel, I want to know why there's a phone on the front porch.
This is the burning question. Like,
Why?
Is that just a regional thing? I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's like, should I contact somebody that lives in Jersey and be like, is this what you do? Are there just phones on the front porch?
I don't know.
I want to know.
Like I've seen the monitors on the front door where like somebody can buzz in and then you can answer it. Is that what the phone is though? Like,
but
you
it's
just
a
pick it up and be like,
full-blown telephone.
It's a full-blown like punch number phone.
Yes. I don't know. Private conversations outside?
I don't know.
Nigel, answer, please.
Yes, let us know.
Just so good. Also, speaking of outside on the front porch, when what is supposed to be the shadow of Ben is walking around, and it's like, is that somebody in a blanket? Because it's huge.
It is huge, yeah.
Huge, like super wide. This shadow is just massive, which also kind of confused me because the movie leads you to believe that Ben is either like a baby or a child. And then the shadow is like a grown man that's massive. Yeah. And then what beats Tom up is obviously not a baby child, because he beats the shit out of him.
The ever-living shit out of him.
Multiple times. So I don't know. I want to know what that's about.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very clear as to what Bad Ben really is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that it's actually related to the kid Ben at all. I think it might just be a demon that is in the house because of the witchcraft or Satanism or whatever it was being practiced. Which is very weird because it's like a lot of different genres going on here. There's like some witchcraft and some Satanism and voodoo, and they're all like intermingled, and it makes no sense.
With a big family Bible, a cross, And the Lord's Prayer.
Yes. Which is hilarious because as soon as he walks in the house and sees these items, he's like, nope, gotta be PC. These things gotta fucking go.
He's like, I gotta flip
takes
this.
them off the wall and gets the Bible and just throws them away. And then just like you said in the attic, he tells this entity, I'm not afraid of you. I'm a Christian.
After the first thing he does is he walks in the house, he gets anything that has to do with religion and chunks it.
It's gone.
Like the second he walks in this house, gone. And he's like, sorry, not sorry.
And then he pulls them out of the trash can. He's like, no, I'm sorry.
He's like, it's going back where it belongs.
Yeah, it's going back where it belongs. Here's the Lord's Prayer right on the wall where it's supposed to be.
Oh my God. This movie, okay. Like, I know I've been shitting on it because y'all love it so much and y'all tell me all the time. But how have I fought this movie so hard for almost 4 years?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like, usually you'll take our recommendations.
Yeah.
But this one, for some reason, you just would not.
No, I wouldn't budge. I was like, I'm not watching this movie.
Yeah, not watching it.
This is dumb. Y'all watch it without me.
Yeah, and we would.
I know. Y'all have multiple times.
Multiple times. And you're like, good on you, whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, you watch it and you have fun, whatever.
Oh, this is so good.
Okay, so one of the things that you brought up, this is a 4-bedroom house with 5.5 bathrooms.
Why?
And my only response to that was, Bad Ben has to shit in one of them.
Like, they don't even, like, he walks you through the main room. So you see, like, the living room, family room, office, kitchen, dining room, and you see 2 bedrooms. And then there's, like, an office space, or, like, it's really like a bonus craft room, whatever, upstairs with the electrical panel. And that's all you see. You see 1 bathroom. But when he's driving up, he's like 4 bedrooms, 5.5 baths. And I'm like, why? What is that backwards? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know.
I mean,
obviously we get the half bath.
Yeah.
We get the half bath, but why would you have 5 bathrooms total?
Like, normally it would be like,
maybe there's a bathroom in the basement. And that's not being counted as like a bedroom/bathroom. It's being counted as a basement bathroom.
Could be. Because I was going to say, you would have like a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath or whatever. Because there would typically be like a couple bedrooms with a Hollywood bath.
Yeah. Or even 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bath.
Yeah. But the 5.5 bath just got
just
me.
More bathrooms and bedrooms just seems a little wonky.
I mean, they had to build one for Ben. That's all I can think of.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Do you think they're counting the shed as a bathroom?
No.
I mean,
maybe they are counting the woods in the back as a bathroom.
Could be.
Maybe that's the half bath.
It's the natural bath.
All right. Speaking of the shed, though, like we get.
I know exactly where you're going.
We get this small little grave out in the woods in back of the house. He opens the shed and finds all this stuff. And he finds a shovel. And he's like, oh, that's not good to find.
After he's like, I found a graveyard. Yeah. He found one.
That doesn't even have, like, he didn't dig it up. He doesn't know what's there.
Yeah.
It could have just been like some hole that somebody put mud in. I don't know.
With a 75-year-old twinkle, twinkle, little star machine that's going on eBay.
Yeah, it's going on eBay.
When he said it was 75 years old, I was like, that thing is not
75 years old.
No. But that shovel. Like, everybody has a shovel. You said that. You're like, that's normal.
Yeah, that's normal. You'll find a shovel in a shed. It's not out of the ordinary.
But he did find a Hobby Lobby box full of knives.
He did. And he also found some bloody blankets or clothes or something.
It was like a bloody towel, and then there was a bloody baby blanket with a baby picture.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, this could be evidence.
I shouldn't be touching it. And then he takes the bag in the house.
and throws it away.
Yeah.
Nothing adds up. Nigel, answer, please. Nothing adds up.
Nothing is adding up. One of the things that I do love about this whole like story that he has laid out is he buys this house at a sheriff's sale, which why would it be a sheriff's sale? First
Auction.
off, it would be like some kind of foreclosure auction,
Yeah.
not a sheriff's sale. At least not to my knowledge.
I don't know. It's Jersey. They're weird.
Possibly. But he goes through the house and is like, why wouldn't they take their personal belongings? Oh, there's so much stuff here. Like, talking about all this good stuff that's there. It's not great stuff.
No.
Like, there's a couple items that are there that could be like, oh, yeah, that's, valuable. But most of it just seems like knickknacks and stuff that isn't really valuable. Some of the furniture could be, worth a couple $100. I don't know. But it's just funny knowing that this is his own house, that like he spent $300 making this movie. He filmed it in his own house, and he's going around talking about like how valuable all of his own belongings are. And that in a meta sense makes so much of sense to me. Why he's like, oh yeah, all this stuff is really good.
Like,
it's like, no, it's really not. It's okay, I guess.
Like, I had never put that together. But whenever he goes into the office and there's a vacuum and he was like, oh, does this thing work? Because these are $400.
Yeah, these
and
are
you're
$400.
like, well, yeah, you should know. You bought it.
You bought it. It's yours. Yeah.
And he's like, bonus, sweet. 'Cause
Yeah.
it turns on.
And then you get the bonus snowplow in the shed. And
Yes.
he's like, oh, a bonus.
Yeah.
That could be like $400 or $500. Yeah, you bought it. You would know how much it is.
After the riding lawnmower doesn't turn on because he doesn't turn it on all the way.
Yeah. And then later on in the movie, we catch him riding it.
Just miraculously turns on. It's because he brought the Christian stuff back into the house. That's what did it.
It runs on Christian belief. It's
Turtle bin.
It's almost like Christmas.
Yes. It's the magic of Turtle Bin. He brought it back to life. Okay. Speaking of Turtle Bin, so he's out there. Is he on the lawnmower when he goes out there and he finds that the grave has basically been dug up?
No. That was later on in the movie, because he was taking all of the items from the house that he collected from upstairs in the attic, and he was going to take them to the grave to bury them. Yeah,
but he had gone out there and it had been dug up, and he was like, I don't know what's going on with this. And that's when he goes inside and he smells something is different.
Mm-hmm.
And, all that stuff is upstairs. So then he goes back out and buries it in the hole that was already dug. But whenever he's throwing stuff in there in that voodoo doll, and I was like, why does it look like a frog?
Yeah.
He's just like plopping all this shit in there. Just sounds like turds with
Yeah.
a little puddle he had. It's so good. Oh my God.
And he's throwing everything in there. He's throwing the voodoo dolls. He's throwing the broken Jesus.
Yep.
He threw in the pentagram.
With the electrical tape.
Yeah, with the electrical tape.
That giant candle.
Giant urn
in
in the candle. Yeah.
He didn't throw in the ashes.
Didn't throw in the ashes. But the ashes are one of the best parts.
Yes.
Okay, so the entire movie, he's talking about how he doesn't really believe in the paranormal and he's a skeptic, yada, yada, yada. He goes up into the attic and he sees these ashes that are just dumped out on the floor. And he's like, oh, okay. And then something is starting to be written in the ashes and he is not reacting at all.
Doesn't budge.
If that was me, I would be flipping the fuck out.
Yes.
Like, whether I believed or not, I would be like, okay, this is fucked up. I'm out of here.
Yes.
But in the ashes, it writes out, not your home. And he's like, yes, it is.
He's like, it is my home. Too bad.
And he just wipes off the words from the ashes.
But I love how in that scene, the urn had the voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
And then he goes upstairs and there's just a flower vase tipped over.
Yeah.
And that spilled the ashes.
That's what spilled the ashes. Where did it come from?
Yeah. That wasn't there before, but why are the ashes in an open flower vase?
I don't know.
I love it. I love it. It brings so much joy to my heart.
And then apparently the ashes just stunk like something awful.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like,
It didn't make any sense,
I
but
don't know. It was great.
yeah.
I know that. What else do we? This whole movie is ridiculous.
Yeah, can we talk about the baby sounds?
Oh my God.
Because the baby sounds just like a cat.
It sounds like a cat, and it's on repeat.
Yeah.
Sounding like a cat. I can't. Because it sounds like a baby for a little bit, then it just goes. And that's the part that repeats. And it's like, why would you pick that one sound?
My only thought is that, well, they needed something that was baby sound, but also could be kind of demonic sound, maybe. So they kind of mixed the two together. I really don't know, but it sounded like a cat, like just an angry cat in the alley somewhere.
It was glorious, whatever it was. It's like, I love how he didn't think to put in, like, you know, like a baby laughing, because that can be creepy as shit.
Yeah.
He didn't put that in there. Cat sounds.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because whenever he was like, Ben, were you a cat? He wanted to bring that back.
He definitely does start asking this 75-year-old toy if Ben was a dog or a cat or a family pet. And then he's like, were you a person? And it starts playing.
Yeah.
And like, I was looking at it and I was like, how did they do this? Like, in a filming standpoint.
Yeah.
And because this is not a toy. This is one of those crank up toys where you would crank it and then it would just play until it wasn't cranked anymore. And I was wondering how they did it because he's like talking in between and stuff. And I quickly figured out, oh, well, he just paused the video.
Yeah.
And then would talk and then would start the video again and it would pick up where it left off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't that hard to figure out.
Yeah, because I did the same thing, and after a second, I was like, okay, here's how he did it.
Yeah.
We were on the same page.
Yeah. Okay, so at the end of the movie, let's talk about these voodoo dolls that are just hung up with a knife on the
my
wall.
God, yes!
Like the cross was taken down off the wall. These voodoo dolls that he buried were just on the wall with one of these knives that he found in the shed.
Yes.
Just like
it is
stabbed through all of them.
It is an 8-inch chef's knife, and it is so. Okay, backstory though. He's on the phone with the security camera guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm done with this. Like, it seems to be pretty calm. I got, you know, the stuff back in the house. I'm gonna go treat myself to dinner." And we were joking around about, it's like, is this the first time you've eaten since you've been in this house for a week? Because you never see him eat.
You never see him eat. He never talks about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's good to get out to get some food."
Yeah, and it's like,
after the week I've had.
Are you just now eating, Tom? So he comes back, thinks everything is fine. The door's open, right?
Believe the door was open.
I think the door's open. The cross is on the ground, and he walks up. The little voodoo family is stacked from dad to mom to Turtle Ben with a knife through it. I had forgotten all about that part. That was one of my favorite ones.
It's just very funny because like it doesn't really even make sense though. Like why are these voodoo dolls here? What do they even represent?
And they were so clean.
Well, they were a little dirtier once they were back in the house. Like when they were in the urn, yeah, for sure. They were just spotless.
Yeah, because then he had taken them outside and thrown them in that muddy puddle.
Right.
But that's the thing that gets me, because he goes upstairs and he's talking about how much the urn smells. And he opens the lid.
Oh, everything smells.
I know, but he opens the lid, starts gagging, and then he pulls out these spotless, like white cotton little dolls. And I'm like, what
And there's
smells?
nothing in there that should smell.
No. I don't know. I don't bet apparently the ashes smelled, but they weren't in that scene.
They weren't in there.
What about when he's like figuring out that there's a spirit in the house and the chair moves in front of him and he goes and pulls it back and the chair pulls itself into the doorway and he does it again and they're playing this tug of war and he's like, stop it.
Like 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
And it's like it keeps getting drugged to the door that leads down to the basement.
Yes.
No, it's very funny because you definitely get him being drugged down those stairs at the end of the movie.
After he gets turned around. How?
I don't know.
I don't know. We were dying,
Magic.
though. That's so good.
Because it's very awkward the way that he did it because he like put it in fast motion, like twice the speed of the regular film, and he's like sliding down the stairs. It's just so funny.
After his glasses fly off,
Yeah.
he comes back upstairs. He's grabbing onto the door frames and then somehow gets spun around. And Ben drags him down like head first, right?
Yeah.
So good. And then he just gets beat up and chained.
Mm-hmm. And drugged to
the stove.
Yes. And not to spoil anything, but definitely in one of the movies, I believe it's Bad Ben, The Way In, it gets brought back up, and it makes a lot of sense now that, you know, you're watching all of these movies together and, you know, kind of connecting them all together.
I was going to say, and I don't know if this has anything to do with what you're talking about, but the drawing of the demon, Bad Ben, also looks like the stove downstairs.
Oh, I never really even considered
like that just clicked to me. I'm like, I wonder if the kid was afraid of the stove and if like somebody had been burned in that stove before and that's where like the spirit comes from and it's all connected to the stove in the basement.
You need to watch Bad Ben, The Way In. Because it's going to make a lot of sense. Because now that you're talking about it, it's making a lot of sense in my head.
Okay.
And I know Nathan's listening to this right now and is like, oh my God, he is flipping the fuck out right now.
Did I just solve it?
You didn't solve it, but you brought something up that's very interesting.
Yes.
And now I really need to talk to Nigel about this and find out if he did this on purpose or what's going on. Oh, no, that's really cool.
Like
I like that.
I just thought about that because he's all black, but then it, like his mouth is open and it's all red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could just be a coincidence. It could be complete coincidence that we're reading way too much into, and Nigel's probably just going to be like, oh, yeah, no, it was on purpose. No, it wasn't on purpose.
Or he's like, shit, I missed it.
Shit, I knew something was going on in his own movie.
I love it.
All right. I mean, I know I could talk about this movie all night.
Yeah.
Because it is just such a fun movie. And I think we could just go ahead and get into the ratings. I know what Nathan would rate this movie.
Oh, for sure.
You know what Nathan would rate this movie.
Yes.
And he's definitely giving it a skull.
Yes.
Because he's already watched it multiple times. I myself have watched this with Nathan multiple times. And I have watched this with other people multiple times. So I am giving this a skull as well. The question is, Hannah, what is your rating on this movie?
Okay. So I held out for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
I have fought y'all hard.
And you fell asleep the first time you even tried watching it.
I did. And I woke up and I was like, is this still on? And I got up and went to bed. I was done with it. I've never wanted to watch it with y'all. And even tonight, you were like, I'm concerned about your attitude towards this movie pretty much because I've been so against it.
So against it. And I knew it was just me and you tonight. And I was like, oh, I don't know. She just really hates this movie. This might be bad.
Yeah. Having said that, now that I have allowed myself to watch this movie, I want to watch the rest of them because I love it and I'm giving it a skull.
Yes. I know Nathan's excited too.
Nathan's going to be screaming.
Nathan and I have talked multiple occasions about doing the entire Bad Bin series for this show because we
Yes.
love this series so much.
Yes.
And we're really happy that you're on board now.
Yes.
Because we definitely want to do more of these Bad Bin movies, and I'm almost positive we will.
I love it. I'm in.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. You can join us in the conversation on these terrible or absolutely genius horror movies that we talk about, and you can find us on social media at Spoop Squad for Instagram and Twitter, and the Squad Podcast on Facebook, and Spoop Squad Podcast on TikTok. If you want to send us an email, you can send us an email at spoopsquad@gmail.com. Please leave us a 5-star written review. We'll read it on an upcoming episode, and we would love to have you as part of the show. So please do that. If you've already done that or you don't feel like doing that, you can definitely share this podcast with your friends and family. We'd love to get everybody involved and find movies that we just don't know about yet. Suggest movies to us by going to our social media or by emailing us.
Get spooked!